So we are live here. Okay, so let's bring this up. Put a pin in it. Pin mode. Right here. Can y'all hear me okay? And is the fan I have going in the background really loud in the mic? I can't tell. If someone who is in the chat could just mention those two things, that would be great. Thanks. All right. So that's good to know. So Unfortunately, Twitch kind of, blows ass when it comes to the text resolution. Smallzilla is being a dick. Dagon, go away while I'm doing this. Yes. Hold on one second. I've got to go take care of Smallzilla real quick. Alright, so that's handled. He thinks it's funny to interrupt me because he can. Alright, so now that I'm back and doing this, like I was saying, the Twitch streaming stuff kind of sucks for text resolution, but when you do like full screen on Twitch, it should be okay. Yeah, if you full screen it, you can see it a lot better. So if you want to chat with me while I'm doing it, that's probably, I just leave it off and then you can watch it in full screen, video on demand. If you want later, that's probably the best way to handle this. That way you can ask questions if you need to without having to switch between the two. Or you can switch between the two. I don't really care. It's up to you. So basically the first thing we're going to do is set up some announcers. I've already got my two that I will probably build out and use in my own fed there, but let's build two more, plus we'll do a guest, just cause. So somebody throw out a name. I don't want to name these people. I know there's a few of you in here. Bill Loudmouth. Alright, sure. Bill Loudmouth. Add. So, unlike some of the other mods where you add and it just adds a new thing, I decided to let you name them first and then hit add so you don't have to go searching through a list of things for new data entry or whatever I decided to call it. Just a little, quality of life thing. Don't expect me to rearrange other mods to do that. The other windows are pretty crowded as is. So, but this one I figured it would be nice. Alright, so Bill Loudmouth. I'm going to make this guy our color dude. And so we're going to need one more. We'll call him McDry Bread. McDry Bread. So that's our McDry Bread is going to be our play-by-play guy, and Bill Loudmouth will be our color guy. So I don't generally write my own commentary, like move commentary. I use the add default lines. But before you do that, you want to set up his adjectives or superlatives so that he can so that there's a little bit of flavor in the default lines. And to do that, you hit the superlatives tab over here after selecting him in the list. And then you could just type them in. Let's say McDry wants to call things textbook. And he will also call things super and fabulous. And let's say he's got The superlatives frequency down here is how often he adds those words to things. If you set it to 100%, it will be on every move call and every counter call and a bunch of other stuff. You probably don't want that. I would imagine that you wouldn't want that. I'm going to say that he's got a 25% chance of using a superlative in his stuff. So once you've done that, you can come back over to Move Commentary and hit Add Default Lines. And now if we go here, let's say to American Punch Rush, it will add all... I've decided that there are 3 default lines for every move, plus he can add the superlatives. See, he's got attacker hits defender with an American Punch Rush, attacker nails defender with a fabulous American Punch Rush, and attacker executes an American Punch Rush on defender. Those 3 lines will always be roughly the same, except with or without the adjectives or superlatives that you use. I mean, you could go in and throw in less complimentary things, like you could say sloppy or that sort of thing, if you wanted to really add a little bit of spice, I guess. So now he's got lines for every move in the game, and this will include your modded moves. You could see, well, I'd have to find them, and I don't feel like, let's see, leg snap is a modded move, so, I guess it's not showing up in here, huh? Anyway, they should be in there. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to look into it before I release a proper version, because it looks they were in there and now they're not. So, all right. I bet if I hit refresh, it will. Yep, I just needed to refresh. They're there now. Okay. Let's make sure it added the move. Yeah, good, it did. Okay, so we're good to go. Sorry, guys. So the next thing we need to do is I need to explain the positions, I guess, would be the best way to put it. So your play-by-play guy will always call the move commentary. You don't ever want to set either of these guys on your play-by-play guy unless they're also going to be doing color at some point or in some other fed or something like that, because they will never use them. A announcer in the play-by-play position will only initiate move calls. They can respond to anything, but they will only initiate move calls. So you don't need to set up any of these for your play-by-play. So to get those, you go to your color guy, and let's say we want to pick, we're going to have a match to test this out. I am going to put, let's see, who can be in the match? Let's pick a guy here. I want a guy that I know is active, because some of these guys are not active. They're in my retired thing. Let's see here. We will go with Sam Bass. I know Sam Bass is active. So let's say Bill Loudmouth is a shitty heel commentator, a color guy, and Sam Bass is a shitty heel, so he wants to praise Sam Bass. So let's just give him a thing here. Bass is one hell of a wrestler. I don't need the, So now you add it. And now let's say you only want this to happen once. So you can go down here and see multi-use is unchecked. That's the default setting, is only use it once. So let's say I wanted him to be able to say Bass is one hell of a wrestler like a whole bunch of times in the match. I just check that, and then he would be able to say Bass is one hell of a wrestler over and over and over again, sort of like the SmackDown vs. Raw games. But I don't, so I'm going to uncheck that. And now he'll only say it once in the match. So that's sort of how you can control flow, um, and keep things from just repeating over and over and over, which is a problem that a lot of commentary in video games has. And I honestly don't like that. It's just not. I don't know. It just takes me out because in real life they're not gonna tell this, or they're not gonna use the same one-liners, um, 3 times in one 10-minute match. It just doesn't make any sense. So basically, that prevents that. And these radio buttons down here at the bottom that say during match, at match end only, and at match start only, are just positioning things. Like if I wanted to have a factual tidbit about Sam Bass that they say at the beginning of the match, I could check at match start only, and it would put that into possible selection at the beginning of a match. While the referee is calling fight, essentially, the announcers would be giving that. And to do that, you need to select it in this list first, and then change it. If you try to type it in with this thing selected, and then hit add, that will not do it. So yeah, you need to do this to select it down here, and then select these. Is there a way to export or share a commentator? There is not currently, but there will be in the final release. I am using wrestler IDs, and because wrestler IDs change in everybody, the IDs that my wrestlers are, that refer to my wrestlers are not the IDs that refer to your wrestlers, even if they're the same wrestler. So I'm going to have to write a thing that basically changes the ID to wrestler names, and then changes it back to IDs when you import them. So it is a function that's coming. It is a function that I have an idea about how to do, and it is something that I will take care of. So I'm getting Steam messages. Let's see. I am offline. There we go. So yeah, it's not possible yet, but it's coming, is the answer to that one. So now we've got a wrestler commentary line. Let's say we want to make sure that McDrybread responds to that. So we go over to the responses tab, and then we say responding to. He's going to be responding to Bill Loudmouth, and he is responding to Bill Loudmouth's wrestler commentary. And then we can select, we can just go to all, it's the only one in there. Or we can go to Sam Bass and select that, and it will be the only one in there. So we select the line that he's going to respond to, and then we type in his response. Let's say, so one heck of a cheater, Bill. And then you got to hit add. I've made this mistake a bunch of times where you type in a response and don't hit add. If you don't hit add, it doesn't commit it to the commentator file. So hit add, and then that line will go away. Then if you reselect it, you'll notice that it comes back up. So yeah. And then you'll notice that the add thing changed to update if there's already a line there. So if you were to change that and hit update, it would update the one that's already selected instead. So anyway, so let's go back to Bill Loudmouth. We're going to add about 10 lines for between two wrestlers. So about 5 lines each, just to sort of give it some flavor. We'll also say Bass is well known for knocking his opponents out. I don't know why. Oh, shit. I'm in the wrong thing. I need to go back to wrestler commentary. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. Sam Bass. Alright. Select. Then we got the Bass is one hell of a wrestler. Now we go, Bass is well known for knocking his opponents out. Add. Let's select that. It's not multi-use. Now I'm going to go back over to responses. I'm going to go to McDry Bread, responding to... I find it easier to do it this way to set up the conversations where you switch back and forth. Some people might find it easier to put in all the lines and then do it this way. That's up to you. Like I said, I prefer to do it this way. Now we're going to go to Sam Bass again. And then, yep, Bass is well known for knocking his opponents out. Not without the use of his cowboy boot. Alright. So there we go. And let's go back to Bill Loudmouth, and actually, we're going to add a response to a response this time, just to show you how that's done. So we're responding to McDry Bread, and this one is a response. And when you respond to responses, there's no way to filter it beyond what's already there. So you'll just have to scroll through the whole list of responses that this wrestler or that this commentator has. So we want he's not without the use of his cowboy boot, and we're going to say whatever gets the job done. Add. Okay. So then we'll go back to, we're already on Bill Loudmouth. We'll go back to wrestler commentary. We'll pick Sam Bass again. Let's add a match start one, just for the fuck of it. So we'll go Sam Bass usually works as a manager. It's not fair to make him wrestle. Add. And then, like I said, you got to select it, go match start only. It is not multi-use. So, there we go. And then we're going to obviously add some responses from McDry Bread to the Sam Bass line there. Responding to Bill Loudmouth. I don't know why it's doing that twice too. I'll have to check into that. It's probably just forgetting to clear it. Commentary. Let's see. He's got a wrestler's license. Bill. Add. Then we go to Bill Loudmouth. He is responding to McDry Bread. He is responding to a response. And we'll say, Bill. Alright, he's got a wrestler's license. Bill. That doesn't make it fair. Alright, so I mean these lines are pretty lame. Yeah, no, I have been using this a lot. Like my the two that I've created for my Fed, I've only done 2 things, and it's taken me a fair bit of time to do to get like stories on both of those wrestlers and the play back and forth between the announcers and stuff. These ones are fairly short and lame, but I mean they're mostly for you know, just to sort of show off the feature. We'll go back to Sam Bass. We'll add one more for Bass. We'll do 4 for Bass. Let's see, commentary. I heard Sam Bass, oh, capitalized Bass, is in line for a title shot. Add. Then we go back to McDry Bread. We go to responses. We're responding to Bill Loudmouth. Bill Loudmouth's wrestler commentary. We'll just select it from here. Sam Bass. I heard Sam Bass is in line for a title shot. Commentary. I don't know who you're listening to, but I find that very hard to believe. Add. Okay, so there's Sam Bass. I don't know who Sam Bass is going to wrestle. Probably one of my jobber guys, because we don't need a long match or anything. So now let's add some jobber guy commentary, just to make it easy. Let's see. Robert Chester is a jobber in my Fed, so we'll go with him. So we're going to add one that he can say a bunch of times in a row. Chester doesn't stand a chance here. We'll go add, and we'll select it, and we'll go during match and multi-use. If you don't check that during match, it defaults to during match, so don't worry about it. Attribute aware lines. I guess if you explain those to me, I will tell you whether it's possible or not. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have McDry Bread respond to this once and then ignore it every other time that he says it. Sort of like just being like, whatever. So we're going to go to responses. We want to go to wrestler commentary. If you just keep it in all, when you select Bill Loudmouth, both the Sam Bass lines and the Robert Chester lines are going to show up, so let's do that. Doesn't stand a chance here. Anything is possible in wrestling. Bill. Add. And see, I'm not going to check multi-use, so it will not be multi-use. So let's go back and wrestler commentary from Bill Loudmouth. We've got Robert Chester. Let's go and give him another line. I don't even know. I bet Robert Chester isn't even his real name. Add. And then we select that and see it's not multi-use. It defaults to not multi-use when you add them. So, and then we'll go to McDry Bread. We'll add a response. So, this is definitely not the sort of thing that you get out what you put in. So, I mean, if you spend a lot of time in here building up your commentators and their bank of lines, the commentary might actually be fairly decent. For text commentary in a video game that didn't initially support text commentary at all. So far, I've actually, like I said, I spent a bit of time with the with my two normal guys, and it ended up being pretty good. Definitely a lot better than like SmackDown and stuff. So let's see. I bet Robert Chester isn't even his real name. Why would you say that? And then we're going to go to Bill Loudmouth. He's going to respond to a response from McDry Bread. We've got a response. And then we go down here. Why would you say that? Just look at him. He's an embarrassment. Okay, so there's that. So now let's add some promotion commentary from Bill Loudmouth. To do this, you got to pick the ring. And then you can just add the commentary for that ring or that promotion. So, like, if you have a separate, let's say you're running the WWF and you want to have commentary about WrestleMania or SummerSlam and you have a separate ring, you just select that ring and then you're good. Let's see. Bill Loudmouth says something about the FCCW, like FCCW doesn't pay me enough to watch stinkers like this. Add. And McDrybread is, of course, going to respond to that. No, promotion commentary. And then you can select FCCW here. And then... Oh, that's acting weird. Let's see if it doesn't act weird at all. It's acting weird at all. I need to fix that. This is what happens when I make changes right before I decide to do a tutorial, huh? So right now, in this version, which you guys have now too, actually, because I uploaded it right before I did this, you can't respond to a promotional thing. I'll change that after the tutorial. So, oh, is that what he's doing? Well, that's probably why it's not working, maybe. So McDrybread responses, responding to Bill Loudmouth, and now let's go and see if it works. Oh, now it works. So it does work. I just was being a dumbass and I had it set to the wrong thing. Cool. Thank you, Aru, or I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Yeah, no, I just fucked up. That was my bad. FCCW pays you just fine, Bill. Add. Okay, so now we have a little bit of commentary. It's not a ton. You know, it's enough to run the match, probably. Let's add a couple more promotional things just to have some extra stuff. Home of ham and eggers. Add. We'll make that a match start thing, so he can say, you know, FCCW is the home of ham and eggers at the beginning of the match. Just, there's not really a reason to it, but why not? And then we'll have McDrybread respond to him. Promotion commentary. FCCW. Home of ham and eggers. Okay, so he's going to respond with that line. And then I'm going to add one more. We'll do one more. We're going to do a trade-off here. This one is add during match. FCCW is where all the best wrestlers want to be. And then we'll go to McDrybread and we'll respond. He's going to respond to Bill Loudmouth. And we'll go to promotion commentary. All the best wrestlers want to be. And we'll say, for once, I agree with you, Bill. Add. Then we'll go back up to Bill Loudmouth. We'll do responses from McDry Bread. And we'll go... For once I agree with you, Bill. And he will say, because they get easy wins over all the slobs working for us. Add. Then we'll go back to McDry Bread, responses. He's responding to Bill Loudmouth. And we'll say, I just keep walking into them every time. Add. Okay. So that's basically how you set up commentators. It's pretty easy. It is time consuming, I will admit it. There is nothing about text commentary that would not be time consuming. There is no way to really streamline this, I guess. If you can think of something, I'm game to hear it, but really it's just a time consuming process because you've got to type everything and you've got to link everything, and you know. So anyway, here's how we set up a thing. Let's add these to the... So if you wanted to add them to a new one, let's say you can just add them and then select it and then add. I'm not going to use New Japan. I'm just going to change my normal guys to McDry Bread on play-by-play and Bill Loudmouth on commentary. And then we will go ahead and start the match. I can unpin this. Alright, so that's going to zoom down, and then we go offline play, exhibition, normal match. And we did Sam Bass and Robert Chester. We'll do it at Korakuen Hall, because that's an easy thing to do entrances for. Bass is going to have a bunch of possible attire options. I'm going to select the one with the vest. And here we go.
Ring the bell.
And there was that opening line. I'm going to turn this down. This is apparently just stupidly loud. And I also need to turn it down in my headphones. Let's see. Volume mixer. Well, Sam Bass took that really quickly. We didn't even get to see most of the commentary. Let's try one more match with those two. I didn't expect it to go down that quickly. I mean, I know the guy is a jobber, but... Alright, we'll do one more. Sorry, guys. Had to cough. And then I'm going to go and add a guest. Just real quick. He's just going to respond to a couple of lines. Maybe he's the guy, the good guy that Bass is feuding with, you know. Also, I need to turn that off. I need to make it so that during entrances, the announcer doesn't make play-by-play calls. And so the way that the commentary works is that if for move commentary they'll call anything that isn't, if there, as long as there's not another move already being called on screen. So, and the move, they'll stay up for about 3 seconds each. So it's not going to try to call every move. That would be a mess. I have set it up so that it will call Irish whips and counters. Counters don't. There is no specific move for a counter. They don't say counters his backdrop or anything like that. Oh, here comes the Robert Chester isn't even his real name bit. Bass is going for the cover. A kick out. The one time you would just doesn't stand a chance here. Now, if he says doesn't stand a chance here later in the match, McDry will not respond to him because there we go. See, he can say that. Bill Loudmouth can say that multiple times, but since the response was set to just a single-use response, basically he'll just ignore it for the rest of the match because he's already responded to it. So anything I add a trigger to that's just more of a like a move is basically you're not going to have control over what the announcers say. So I could add a trigger for 2.9s, but you would never be able to. You wouldn't be able to modify that. It would just say, gets his shoulder up, something like that. So, but yeah, it's possible. So let's go add a guest real quick, just to show you how that works. We got the commentary. We're going to add one more. Let's see. We're going to say that Rocky Wilbur, who is one of my created wrestlers in this Fed, we'll say that he is going to be the guest spot. He's not going to need any move commentary or any wrestler or promotion commentary. A guest will only respond. So you only need to worry about setting their responses if they're guests and they're not going to be doing any work in any other promotions or anything as commentators. So we are going to have him respond to Bill Loudmouth as wrestler commentary about Sam Bass. We'll have him respond to Bass is one hell of a wrestler. We'll have him say, I can take Bass with both arms tied behind my back. Ed. Then we are going to have him respond to I heard Bass is in line for a title shot. We'll have him say, helps if I spell championship right. Like I said, I'm not really thinking about these lines that are, I'm not trying to make them amazing or anything, so, or witty. I'm just throwing them in there. promotion commentary, wrestler commentary. We're going to have him respond to... what am I doing? Bill Loudmouth. Chester doesn't stand a chance here. I've been working with Chester in the gym. Don't count him out. Add. Okay. So now we've got the guest. Let's go add him to the team. Rocky Wilbur is the guest spot now. Now we can just go back. Oh, we gotta zoom this down because it's pinned. Alright, so let's start up the match again. Same two guys. Basically, it will, it's going to be a squash. Sam Bass is going to kill him. I'm not going to mess with any of the entrance attire. I'm actually going to skip the entrance real quick because I don't care. Okay, so that was a weird thing. It blazed through some stuff and made it weird. I'll have to look into that. Oh, ref is down. I could probably add a trigger for ref bumps as well. I haven't even thought of that yet. A super thigh kick. A super foothold neck breaker. Jesus, that ref is down. Oh, they disqualified him. Of course they would do that in the test match. I don't have lines for special finishes yet. Basically, if a move doesn't end a match, the commentary is going to be a little weird. That's something that I haven't even worked on yet, but it will come. Like I said, this is still a test. This is still a test version, so let's try one more time. The guest didn't even make an appearance because it happened so quickly. And basically, textbook headbutt. So I'm just waiting for some of the flavor commentary to come in. Bill Loudmouth is being very quiet all of a sudden. There we go. But of course, it's a line that our guest doesn't have a response to. And that's probably going to do it. Anyway, so there is obviously some stuff that needs fixing and everything, but this gives you a basic idea of how the mod is used, of what it can do. You can kind of go from there. I actually think it's kind of cool. I'm enjoying it. It's silly and totally unnecessary, which is why I didn't bother to include it with the mod pack. But you know, I doubt I'll turn it off unless I find some problem that it's causing or something. It's just silly fun. I think it adds a bit to the game, so uh, yeah. But that's basically it. If you can think of anything, hit me up in the Discord. Let me know. If there's stuff you'd like to see or questions you have or anything like that. I'm usually pretty open to suggestion. Some things may not be possible. Other things may be possible. You probably won't know till you ask. So, all right. Well, that's it for this. I'll be in the Discord and working on this pretty much for the rest of the night. So, I'll be around. All right. Take care.